Hello everyone, it's Monday morning on July 14. I had a pretty quiet weekend in here in Tokyo. Did not go out much, but the news flow has been quite intense. We are seeing more headlines about tariff popping up again. And there are even some surprising rumors about a possible shakeup in Xi Jinping leadership in China. Let's start by looking at the Nikkei. Last Friday, the Nikkei closed at 39570 yen, while the SQ value was set at 40004 yen. And since then, we have seen a steady drop. As of this morning, these futures are trading around 39300 yen. So that's roughly a 700,800 yen decline from the SQ. Some investors might be feeling a bit uneasy. It reminds me of last year's moves. Remember the BOJ shock in August 2024? Back then, we also saw a local high in July SQ around 41400 yen, followed by a slow decline. There was a bright bounce after Governor Willis' press conference, but the market fell again. This memory seems to be lingering in today's market move. That said, if we compare today to the same time last year, there are some key differences. For one, EPS momentum last year was still quite strong. Nothing weak about it. The current PL is about 50.63 compared to around 70.2 last year at the peak. So historically, yes, 15 P plus PER is still on the high side, but not extreme. Volatility index is also worth noting. Right now, it's at 2020.8, whereas last year it was hovering around 16 or 17. So while the price action looks similar to last year, the underlying indicators suggest a different picture. On tariffs, Japan's average rate is around 25%, which may sound high, but compared to countries like Mexico and Canada, who are facing even steeper tariffs, Japan might actually appear relatively clean in global terms. When we compare the performance of major stock indices from October 2024 to June 2025, Japan is up only around 3 or 4%. Other countries have gained much more, some over 13%. So if you 13% over 13%. So if you overlay tariff levels and stock returns, Japan's modestly equity performance might actually position it as a kind of safe haven. Now, back to China rumors about Xi Jinping possibility step down swirling. Historically, Japan and China's top leadership tends to change every 10 years or so, so it would not be totally out of the blue. Some are speculating that Xi Jinping may become more symbolic figure, retaining the title of president but losing real power. Um, if such a shift happens, the big question is how it would affect the US and China relations and the broader geopolitical landscape. There's also the Taiwan risk, and could leadership instability accelerate that timeline? And on the other hand, global investors generally hate uncertainty, so keeping Xi in place might actually feel more stable on the market. Meanwhile, Japan's upper house election is heating up. The sunset tool seems to be gaining momentum, and we are expecting a busy weekend ahead. Trump and Vincent are scheduled to visit Japan on July 19, just before the vote on the 20s. That could be put some pressure on Japan's officials. From a market standpoint, momentum is still holding up. The long side looks slightly stronger than the short side right now, at least in terms of the paper loss among the short loss sellers. So this could just be normal pullback and not a crash. Maybe we are overreacting to last year memories. Nichigen crisis shock. One more thing, Mercury restorative financial astrology starts soon, around mid-July, and the G20 financial ministers and central bank governors meeting is set for July 17 and 18. Keep an eye on it. There are also key central bank meeting日銀金融政策決定会合 happening later in the month, July and 31 or August 1. Those could be triggers, so watch this period closely. Alright, that's it for today. If you like this content, consider liking my podcast. Okay, just hit follow. See you tomorrow.